Hello everybody, I hope everyone is doing well and welcome back. So in today's video, I'm going to be creating 3 looks using the Nabla side-by-side palette. They were kind enough to send me this a little early. So I've had this palette in my collection for the last 2-ish months and I have been completely loving it. This video is extra special because it is sponsored by Nabla, so a huge thank you to them. It means the world to me and I'm so incredibly excited for this collection. They curated something very beautiful as well as very versatile. They were kind enough to give me a discount code for you guys. It is Nabla30 and you can get 30% off of nablacosmetics.com or Ulta as well. And the code is live at 12 a.m. Central Time on the 11th of December and it ends at 12 p.m. Central Time on the 13th of December. And this code is valid on everything except for their holiday gift sets. So a little bit about this palette here. It has some warm tones, some neutral tones, as well as some cool tones. So it's very versatile. You can achieve so many different looks and it's quite compact, which is lovely. They also have 3 different textures in here. They have their creamy metallics as well as their super mattes and a newer texture, which is these 2 right here. They're called Celestial and they're more of a sheer top coat and they just make your lids look wet. They're some of my favorite shades in this palette here. I love this palette's vibe and I love how the front cover kind of reminds me of a canvas. Like it has like a canvasy texture, which is really nice. So it just makes me feel like an artiste. So I'm really excited to create these 3 looks for you guys. So before we get into it, I would love for you to subscribe if you aren't already. It would mean so much to me and let's get to it. So for the first look, I wanted to focus with these more bronzy browns right here. I really love the undertones that they have. They have like a brick red undertone and I think they're stunning. So I'm first going to dip into the shade Halftime with a very fluffy brush just to bring some warmth into the crease. Now I'm going to switch over to another blending brush, but this one's slightly smaller and I'm going to be dipping into the shade Burnt Sienna and I'm going to define the crease a little bit and I'm not following the roundness of my eye. I'm kind of drawing it outwards, kind of more in a straight line. This is just going to elongate my eye shape because my eye shape is a little bit more round in the center and I'm going to deepen that up a touch more right out here. And that's where I'm going to keep it for right now. Now I'm going to take a smaller angled brush and I'm going to start creating a little eyeliner with the shade Tempera. And I'm going to be doing a little negative space detail right here. So I'm going to take this a little higher than I usually would. Usually I'd start my eyeliners right here just to follow that angle. But I'm actually going to take it from the outermost corner right here. Still following that angle though. I'm just leaving space for the negative space we're going to be adding later on. So now I'm going to switch over to a very tiny liner brush. This one's just easy to get the inner corner detail and finish off the liner without it getting too thick. And I'm actually going to dip into the Tempera shade again and really build up the color. And I'm actually going to dampen it with some setting spray. And you can do this with pretty much any matte eyeshadow too, just to create like a eyeliner. And I'm using the mirror as my little mixing palette. You don't want to dip your brush back into the actual pan itself because then you're going to make your matte eyeshadow hard pan. Grabbing that angled brush again, I'm going to hug this shade really close to the lash line because I didn't want to get too carried away with overblending the lower lash line. So I'm just going to pack this as close as I can to the lashes. I'm going to take this other brush with the shade Burnt Sienna again to blend that out. I'm going to define the lower lash line a little bit better after this step. So I'm going to be taking some concealer with this little tiny angled brush and I'm going to trace the bottom of this eyeliner here. This is also going to sharpen everything up as well, which is great. I'm taking a mixture of Tempera and Burnt Sienna and I'm going to follow that very lightly And I'm now taking the shade Untitled, which is the black. This is a little Nabla N201, part of their newer brush collection, and they're bomb. I love how tiny a lot of the brushes are, so you're able to get so many great details. So now with my finger, I'm going to be dipping into some of the Celestial shades. I love them so much. They almost make your lids look glossy in certain lights. So I'm first taking the shade Better Society with my finger, and I'm going to lightly pat this all over the lid, which just gives like a nice scattered glitter effect. I'm taking a very light amount of this first because I wanted to build it up, and I also wanted to show how many ways you can use it. I just wanted to scatter it all over the look at first, and now I'm going to take a flat shader brush with a little bit of setting spray on it, and I'm using it right in the center of the lid, kind of going up into the crease so it catches the light in a very unique way. And then I'm going to take the shade Body and Soul, which is the other shade like this, and I'm focusing it in the center as well, just to add as many fun glitter shades as we can. I'm also using that in the inner corner. And on top of that inner corner highlight, I'm taking the Ray of Light shade. If this section right here isn't as light as you would like, you can take some of the lighter shades. I'm taking a hint of Bonjour and Rarity just to kind of bring more definition in back in here. And the last thing I'm adding is that Ray of Light shade right at the bottom of this eye detail. Just following this just to highlight it and add an extra detail, because why not? Taking that Ray of Light shade as my brow bone highlight as well. And this is a really fun brush to do so. This is the N208 from Nabla. It's a dual fiber brush, but it allows you to just fluff on your brow bone shade without creating like a line. It just allows it to be very diffused and just like glossy looking. It's fun, really fun to use. I also sometimes use it in the inner portion to kind of soften the inner corner highlight. And there we go. I'm just going to quickly add some mascara and I will be right back. So here is the first look all complete. I love it. I love doing these little outer corner details once in a while. I think it adds a lot of fun to a look, makes it look really interesting. The mascara I used is the Major Pleasure from Nabla. I haven't used this in a very, very long time, and it's quite nice. So now I'm going to zoom you guys out and I'm going to throw on a lip. Okay, so for my lips, I'm going to be using the Nude 4 lip pencil from Nabla. This one's my favorite out of the 6. It's the one that I use the most, and it also matches the tones I used on the eyes perfectly. It has a little bit of red in there. So I'm just gonna line my lips real quick. I just adjusted my lighting. It might be like a little bit dark, but at least you can see the dimensions in the makeup a little bit better. But for my lip gloss, I think this one, I put a little touch right here. I think it will flatter this look the most. This is the Renaissance Shine Theory lip gloss. It has like the same kind of vibe as the Celestial eyeshadows. It has the same sort of glitter in it. So I think it'll suit this look very nicely. Yeah, I like that a lot. So here is the first look all complete. I am going to return tomorrow. I'm going to be filming this video over the course of a couple days, so I might look a little bit different. I'm just doing that for the sake of my eyes because I found that when I do all 3 looks in one day, it's way too rough on my eyes. So I will see you tomorrow. Okay, so now for the second look, I wanted to do something very soft and cool toned. So I'm first going to dip into the shade Beauty Mark and use that as my crease shade. Then with a smaller brush, this is a Nabla N203, I'm taking the shade Cubism, which is a very pretty gray, and I'm focusing this in the inner portion. And I'm bringing that out into the crease a touch. And now I'm taking the shade Clan, and I'm focusing this on the outer corner as the deepening shade for right now. Then I'm going to take a smaller detail brush and I'm going to be dipping into Clan and Untitled. And I'm going to bring that on the lower portion right here. Then I'm going to be dipping into Beauty Mark and Cubism for the rest of the lower lash line. And with that crease brush that I went in with first, I kind of took Cubism and I placed it all over the lid to kind of soften everything, because at first I was thinking of doing an all matte look, but then I was like, you know what, I really want to add that Love Ritual shade. So I just added that as the base shade more in the crease, just to soften everything. Then I took Love Ritual with my finger and I pressed that all over the lid. And I'm taking a smaller blending brush and I'm bringing that into the crease, because I really love the look of it all over the lid. I think it softens everything and it diffuses the light in a very pretty way. And then for my inner corner and brow bone highlight, I'm taking the shade Ray of Light, which is a little bit warm, but it still works. Kind of pulls out the warmth in the crease color, that Beauty Mark shade that we used at the beginning. And I'm using that fun brush again, the Nabla N208 brush for my brow bone. And now I'm just going to quickly throw on some mascara and I'll be right back. I was debating between the nude number 1 or number 2 lip liner, and I think I'm going to go with 1 because it has a little bit more pinky warmth. The nude 2 had a little too much of a grayish undertone to it. So nude 1 it is. And I'm going to fill in the lip a little bit. And for my gloss, I'm going to add the Shine Theory lip gloss in the shade District. And there we go. I feel like that looks good with the blush. So here is the second look all complete. And I am now going to go rinse it off so we can move on to the third and final look. Okay, so for the last look, I of course wanted to do something very, very smoky. So the first step is this little eye pencil. This is the Arrow number 4 full color stilo from Nabla, and it just looks like a pencil. This is actually a multi-use pencil, so you can use it on the lips. So I'm taking that on a detail brush, and I'm first going to blend it a little bit on the outer corner here. And this stuff has a really long playing time, so it's perfect for these types of looks. And I'm also going to be blending that out on the outer portion here. I'm going to take a blending brush to kind of help diffuse that. I'm actually bringing this all the way into the inner portion of my eye. And all along the waterline as well. I'm just taking this brush with nothing on it just to kind of tug at that to kind of soften it and blend it out. I did want this to have kind of a soft glam vibe to it too, but still very smoky. So now I'm going to be diving into the eyeshadow palette, and I'm first going to be taking a mixture of Halftime and Beauty Mark. I'm taking a little bit more of Beauty Mark rather than Halftime, and I'm going to blend this all over into the crease. Now I'm switching over to a smaller blending brush, and I'm taking the shade Clan, and I'm going to be using this on top of the outer portion here, on top of that eyeliner as well. And I'm also going to be taking this into the crease just to define it a little bit more. I'm going to jump to the bottom. I'm going to take Cubism, and I'm going to take that on the inner portion here. Blend that out, and I'm gonna switch to Untitled and finish off that portion. And once again with that fluffy brush, I'm taking Clan just to add that warmth back into the bottom. I really like the look of mixing the warmer tones with the cool tones. Now I'm going to be taking Untitled, and I'm going to kind of deepen up this outer corner again. With a flat brush, I'm going to be taking Clan with a touch of Beauty Mark because I wanted this to fade. I didn't want this to be too light. I just want it to have a nice gradient. which I have to add a little bit more here. And then we're going to take a little bit more of the black shadow and run it on top of the eyeliner to kind of soften it and bring it back to life. And for the very last step, I'm taking a mixture of Rarity and Bonjour again, and I'm just going to take a flat brush. This is a Nabla N101, and I'm going to kind of liven up this little empty detail, and this is also going to set the eyeshadow primer. But there we are. I'm just going to jump off camera real quick, add some mascara, and I'll be right back. For this one, I didn't want any shimmer anywhere, not even on the inner corner. If you wanted to liven up the inner corner though, you can just take this shade Rarity and just kind of pop that around the inner corner to bring that light into there. And you can even do that on the brow bone if you feel like you want to add some more brightness. But I'm going to skip the brow. But now I'll be right back. And here is the third and final look, all complete. I think this one is my favorite of today. I love these eyes. Whenever I do black eyeliner all around my eyes, why don't I do this more often? It makes my eyes pop out so much more. I always feel like it's gonna close my eyes, but I feel like it does the opposite. I'm all eyes. So now let's throw on a lip and then we're finished. For this look, I'm going to line my lips with Nude number 2 lip liner. Has a little bit of warmth in it. I think it'll look good with the crease color. And I'm going to pat on a little bit of the Metropolitan lipstick. And I am going to throw on a little bit of lip balm on top to make it more of a satin finish. Plus my lips are very dry. I don't want it to accentuate. Okay, so here is the third and final look, all complete with a lip. I love how this one turned out. This is definitely my favorite. I would love to know which one was your favorite look, as always. I love this palette so much. I think it's so versatile. You can create so many different looks with it. I think it's going to be a staple in my collection. I think it's a great palette to have if you're newer to makeup as well, because you have so many different tones in here. It just suits a lot of different styles. I also think that this one would be great to have in a makeup artist kit because you get your cool tones, your warm tones, and neutrals, and a variety of shimmers as well, and different textures to add more dimension. I think this is a palette that's going to stand the test of time and go on with the different trends or the different seasons as well. I think this is just a fantastic palette. They curated something so useful and so beautiful at the same time. I adore it. I just wanted to say another huge thank you to Nabla for sponsoring today's video. Again, you can use the code NABLA30 for 30% off your order on Ulta.com as well as NablaCosmetics.com, and I'll have any other details you need to know in the description down below. But I think that is all from me today, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed today's video and found it helpful and inspiring and all those good things. If you liked today's video, please give it a like. It would help me out so very much. I'll make sure to link the products I used in today's video in the description down below as always, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Love you. Bye.